Yo guys, what's up? It's Turn here, and today we're back. Holy, I did not mean to click that. Today, as my thing loads like 8 times, we're here to talk about gentlemen's agreements. But before we get into that, we're gonna talk about where I've been, why I've not been uploading. So, if you guys didn't know or you don't follow me on Twitter, which will be in the description, by the way, um, I play competitive COD, so I'm looking to go to a local at the end of this month, July, and it's AGN Indy. So I've been trying to put a team together for that. I had kind of a lot of just shitty situations happen, but we're trying to persevere through it, I guess. It sucks, but I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a vlog from there. Yeah, I kind of want to, but it just depends. If that's something you guys would be interested in seeing, make sure you drop a comment below, and I will make sure I get that film for you guys. I don't know what all I'm gonna film, but like, you know, um, but yeah. So on the topic of like gentlemen's agreements, if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically something that all the pro teams agree on every single year. So with there being 12 teams in the league this year, so the 12 teams, at least from what I've understood, is like a representative from their team goes and they all have a talk, one representative from each team, and then they figure out what's competitive and what's not. Like, but some of the things they've been doing recently have kind of caused an uproar on Twitter. Like, so this is the GAs we started the year out with. We had no suppressors, no mounting, no streaks, 2 smokes per team, no hardline, no equipment delay. And it was like okay. Um, I didn't see a point in the hardline really, just due to the fact of like you could just put point man on and it's kind of the same thing. It's just points instead of kills at that point. But yeah, um, so that's kind of a big like deal when you're banning stuff out of the game. But I mean, some of this stuff is needed. Like the suppressors at the beginning of the game were ridiculous. You don't need to be mounting. Streaks in this game are just very, very OP. And then 2 smokes per team. Like eventually, it went down to 1, and it was 2 trophies per team. I'm pretty sure that's still what that's what it's at right now. Um, because if you think about it, like this one makes a lot of sense because if you had 5 smokes, you're not gonna be able to see the map, right? Like you're not gonna be able to see anything. So you have to have like limited smokes. I don't know, 2 still. I mean, that's kind of like a lot. Like that's a lot of stuff you can smoke off. But the 1 I think is a good idea. Um, but recently it's been more of like the AUGs and the, you know, stuff like that. Like the AUG, I think we need to see a different gun. I don't know if it's the AUGs in specific. I didn't really think it was the Uzi either. But we need to see a different gun. Like we've been staring at the M4 and the MP5 all year. It's kind of fucking annoying. Like especially playing with the guns, like it's super boring. Like I know last year we played with the Maddox and like the SOG and the ICR the whole year, but like that game just looked better. Like this game is too boring to not have good gunplay. And for the most part, it does. Before they started kind of nerfing everything, I think that they've kind of made subs really shitty now, with all the GAs and stuff. And the M4 is the best gun in the game, and like that's not even like a question by anyone. Um, but yeah. So they GA the AUG and the Uzi, and after that it's kind of like okay, you go back to the MP5, but then the 10.5 millimeter is already GA'd, or that might actually be, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all GA'd, maybe banned. But yeah, so you can't use the ammo conversions on these guns in competitive, if you follow GAs, that is. So the issue is like a lot of teams don't want to do this, especially some of the pro teams. Like they're kind of like Atlanta FaZe, for example. Like they're like, nah, fuck that. We're not gonna do that. It's right before an event. They GA it like 2-3 days before. We've been practicing for a while with it. Like I don't know what I would do in this situation. I mean, it is shitty, but you've also been using the MP5 for pretty much the entire game, so it's like, eh. Um, But yeah, so that kind of covers it for the GA topics. There was a lot more on it, but a lot of it's just kind of stupid, like pros arguing. Like I think TJ said to Easy Mac, um, he said, "I got my job because I'm talented. You got your job because you sucked, Crowders." Yeah, we're not gonna finish that, but like I don't know. A lot of this stuff is unnecessary. Like if we had more dev support, we wouldn't have to GA all these things. And I think that would definitely help. Like, because now we're just letting the pros decide everything, which I don't think that's right either. Like, I don't know what the fix is for that though. I guess I think more dev support would probably be where I would go with it. And hopefully next year with the Treyarch game we can kind of get that. But yeah, like it's just, I keep clicking this. Um, but yeah, my screen keeps refreshing. Gosh. But GAs aren't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like they're a good thing, but if they're abused, then it's not a good thing. Because, okay, so say your team gets last place at like 3 events in the row in the current meta. Would you not want to GA that guns and switch up the meta on the better teams? Like anyone is gonna think that. Like, yeah, it's shitty, but at the same time, everyone wants to win. They're not ever gonna be content with like placing top 8, like Krim said. Like, they're obviously gonna try and change something to give them more of an advantage. Um, but going on from there, next thing I want to talk about is the Optic roster mania. So this is kind of crazy. Dashi and Chino are benched for Hollow and Draza. So if you guys don't know who these guys are, I mean, Draza is kind of like, I would say he wasn't really heard of much until this year, maybe a little bit of last year, but not really. Hollow was formerly known as Nox, but they both kind of had success in the amateur scene this year. And Draza was kind of the person that Parasite like was like, yeah, this kid's like next up. Like, I mean, we'll kind of have to see how they perform. I'm not too sure if they play this weekend, but if they do, I'd be really interested to see like how these kids perform because the only really amateur player that was a bust was Vivid or Spart. Like Vivid was good, Mac was really good, Awakening was literally insane, and I mean those are the only really amateur players I could think of that really got picked up this year. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see just what's gonna happen. But I also think it say this does work out next year. How are these rosters gonna look? Because there is gonna be more teams in the league. I think that's already confirmed. But it really will change like the landscape of like COD for like the next generation. Because like letting these players in that are so young, like you've already kind of seen it with Simp and Illy and Shotzi. Like Shotzi and Illy, I don't even think played an open event. Like Simp played one, won it straight to the pros. So I mean, this is something that's like I think it's really gonna change the way like players' careers go, I guess. Because before I think it was more of like grind through the open bracket and get your team into the league and you might have a chance of staying on a pro roster throughout the years depending on how well you play when you get there. But I think it's a little bit different this year. But yeah. So that's kind of all I got to cover today. Leave a comment below. Clicked it again. God darn it. Um, if you guys would like to see more videos like this, just more roster mania video in general. I don't know how much I'm gonna have. I also might be doing a champs like pre-highlight video. Also, as you guys can see here, a good reminder. Happy birthday, Pristine Universities. But yeah, if you guys want to see more roster mania video, just covering current stuff, or if you guys want to see more gameplay, just comment below. Make sure to leave a like. It does help out the channel a lot, I promise. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.